buildings taking extra precaution after the earthquake, adding more staff this weekend just in case they need to respond to reports of damage.
But inspectors are also being deployed to perform random spot checks of construction sites across the city. Fox 8's Ashley Rodriguez is live on the Upper East Side to explain why. Ashley.
Yeah, the Department of Buildings pretty much came out today and told contractors at every construction site in the city, make sure your site is safe, make sure it is secure, that nothing was shaken loose and could become dangerous for pedestrians, bystanders, and construction workers. And just like you mentioned, they're going to be sending out inspectors, and they're threatening to issue violations if they feel those sites are not secured.
You need to go out and check on your buildings, even if those sites are closed.
The concern this weekend is what damage the earthquake could have caused inside the city's many construction sites.
After you have an event like this, you often have aftershocks that involve further ground motions. And so things that become loosened maybe during the original or the initial event can then fall and injure people.
The Department of Buildings wants contractors to check on the cranes, the scaffolding, and hoists that may have become unsteady as a result of the tremors.
Cracks that you might see that may materialize or manifest in a week or a month, or scaffolding, retaining walls.
No damage was reported, but the city says it's deploying extra inspectors and engineers to check on the construction sites and ensure developments in progress are safe and secure after the shaking. If they deem a site not secure, they can issue violations, even work stop orders as punishment.
People don't do what they should do, which is look things over and report things that they believe are unsafe.
There are 1.1 million buildings in New York City, and some are made to absorb and mitigate the effects of a quake. But breaks, cracks, and fractures may reveal themselves in time, especially in aging walk-ups, buildings built before 1995, and properties relying on unreinforced masonry.
I think you should be more concerned about your older mid-rise buildings, the sort of 5 to 10 story level. Those probably haven't been engineered for winds, and therefore will be more susceptible to what happens in the earthquakes.
And there's probably more than a few contractors here in the city that don't know how to secure a site after an earthquake because they've never experienced an earthquake. Well, the department said hire a professional. And for residents out there, if you see something that looks like it's compromised the building, whether it's a crack that's new, call 311. Now, if you see something that you think is serious and an emergency, call 911. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, great advice. All right, thanks, Ashley. And as we've mentioned, several aftershocks have been reported in the area since this morning.
Yeah, Nick Gregory is here with a closer look. Nick, we experienced one while we were on the air at 6 o'clock.
We did, right after that 6 o'clock time frame. Exactly right. And we're likely again to see more of these pop up. They just probably won't be as intense. And some of them have happened, but you're not even noticing them because they're only about 1 or 1.2 on the Richter scale. Well, today, again, to review, it was a 4.8er. It was about 2.9 miles deep into the earth. So that's not all that deep for that matter, but it's the strongest earthquake that New Jersey has seen, and almost the area for that matter, since 1884, when they had a 5.5 earthquake back then. Again, there have been multiple aftershocks, the most notable one being at 4.0. So the center, again, out here about White House Station near the Tewksbury area, but the effect, as you know and as you've heard, covered a wide-ranging area from Philadelphia all the way up to almost to Boston, with the shaking being reported there. And what did we have going on? Well, there's the Ramapo fault line that runs from eastern Pennsylvania on up into northern sections of New Jersey. And what we find in that fault line also are tiny faults. There's a fault line that runs along the Hudson. There's a couple that run underneath Manhattan, and there's a few more that run across parts of North Jersey. So these little fractures in the Earth's core under there can cause some of these developments to happen. And the Richter scale, remember, goes from 0 to 10. We're at a minor earthquake stage there, and it can cause a little bit of damage, as we know. And what about the strike type slip fault is what caused it here? And again, it basically slides from side to side. Two blocks sort of move against each other there and cause that shaking or vibration to happen. So that was our earthquake of the day. Hopefully we won't have another one for another 100 years.
Yeah, exactly. Earthquake du jour, one and done, let's hope. All right, thanks, Nick. And for today's updates on the earthquake and the possible aftershocks, you can download the free Fox 5 NY News app. Well, today's quake leaving many of us with a lot of questions, including what are the odds of larger quakes in the future?
We ask an expert about the likelihood of a more powerful earthquake hitting our area.
And President Biden